I've been walking around in this field maybe twice a year for the last 2 or 3 years, and I found a nice quartz scraper there one time, but otherwise just found a few flakes of quartz here and there. So I never had a lot of respect for this field, but I thought, I wanted to go out arrowhead hunting with my son, and we might as well go someplace we haven't been for a while. So I thought we'll check this place. But sometimes you don't have a lot of respect for a field, and you see something and you don't really expect much of it. And I got to say that this arrowhead or this fragment that I saw at my feet, I didn't think much of it. I thought, well, it's damaged along this edge, it's snapped off base or something. At best, it's going to be another disappointment. It actually turned out to be better than I thought, although it is damaged. And I want to say that there's things you don't expect to find in a cornfield in the east. You don't expect to find much in the first place. You never find big points. Anything longer than an inch is rare. I'm not sure why that is. Either they've all been picked up, or maybe there wasn't that many large game animals for people to need large spearheads for. Everything you find is like an inch smaller. And another thing you sure don't expect to find are Clovis points, anything really exciting. All those things are out in Missouri, I guess. So we have slim pickings here in Massachusetts. I'm just going to say. We have a closer look. I don't know what to think. Oh. I'm going to keep that.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's got a little bit of flute on it.
It's a beautiful material.
It could be that this has been broken a little bit at the base here. Oh, that's as close as I found to an arrowhead here. Another cornfield. There goes my son. He's finding more flakes than I am, but I got lucky. That's my boy. But let's take a real close look at this thing because, it has some features that are somewhat Clovis-like. And I just want to point them out and discuss crystal quartz Clovises or quartz Clovises for a moment. If you look for quartz Clovis points online, you find some solid crystal, transparent, and some amazingly gorgeous arrowheads that almost look like they're made out of glass. But you'll notice if you look at the ones online that even with a pure crystal quartz, the flaking's not as regular as you see on some of the, parallel flaked Clovises with this marvelous overshot flaking. You just can't do that in quartz. And you go look at those crystal quartz arrowheads online, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so you wouldn't expect to see anything too perfect made out of quartz, and especially not if it's uncrystal quartz. This quartz in this arrowhead, that's a mixture of several different crystals, and so the grains are even more unpredictable. You're not going to get perfect Clovis fluting. But in any case, I want to say that Clovises are usually pretty big. And so you look online, what's the smallest Clovis? 3 centimeters from someplace out in, I think, Wyoming. They found the Clovis that was that small, associated with larger Clovises, and I think mammoth or mastodon remains. So small Clovises do exist, at least out west, and crystal Clovises do exist, but no such things have been found in Massachusetts. And I don't really expect to find a Clovis, so you always dream about it. But anyway, so this one has, let's look at the point on this thing. It's more like a spade than it is like a needle. And that's kind of the feature of Clovis points, is they come to a rather round, broad tip like this one. Another feature of Clovis arrowheads is overshot flaking. And in fact, these flakes that you see on the tip here are as close to overshot as you're going to get with quartz. And I managed to get a picture here of the flute that really kind of shows that, yeah, there is a flute on that thing. It only reaches about not quite halfway up the point. And I'm not even sure this was an arrowhead, because this ragged edge, this damage along the edge, it could be from a percussive blow against the side of something, or it could be from use wear of a knife. This could be a little teeny, a little teeny blade as opposed to a projectile. So it's not crystal. It's regular fine quality quartz. It is fluted. It does have overshot flaking. It does have the general shape of a Clovis point with a rather flat base, although that occurs also. So, there's no point in trying to claim that you found a Clovis, but I think this might be about as close as we're going to get. And I'm quite pleased with it. And now have much more respect for the cornfield. It's in Marshfield, Massachusetts, of all places.